My project number 3 is on Ansel Easton Adams. He was an American photographer. He was born in 1902 and died in 1984, and this self-portrait was through a mirror taken by Ansel Adams. Through this quote, Ansel Adams was among the handful of younger photographers who was embraced by Alfred Stieglitz in the 1930s, and he will go on to gain acclaim for his heroic Western landscapes and his precise technique. Once again, born in 1902, he was a very young photographer at the time when he started capturing Yosemite Valley, the national park. He was also self-taught by the piano, which kind of shows that he is a very self-driven person. And for him to learn these darkroom techniques and the whole magazines and attending these club meetings kind of shows like this is how he built himself to be one of the most famous photographers. His well-known style is pictorialism. That kind of shows you like his style is more of a beauty of the subject matter. It is like a painting and a composition rather than a documentary of reality in those images that we will see up next. He was featured in a few magazines, one of the bigger ones being the Vogue magazine. He is like I said before, a well-known photographer for his style and what the pictures that I will show you of the environment, kind of showing that environmentalist style that he has. He was the founder of the F64, and this is for sharp overall focus and contact printing of the best means of expressing the camera's full potential. People were Cunningham, Weston, and Van Dyke that were in this group with him. For this first image I have here, this is of the national park. There will be a series of these pictures. Very well known for the special edition series in 1958. He took handfuls of the Yosemite National Park, and they're kind of exclusive, and they're in this gelatin silver print. They range from different times of days, different seasons, of different mountain ranges, plants, foliage, trees. Another angle, waterfall of the Yosemite National Park, and what makes this image kind of interesting that he quotes unquote, he says, basically, I missed one on a small detail which made me ruffle. The right hand of the tree of the two cedars near the center of the image meets a branch from a nearby tree. I should have lowered the camera at least a foot to avoid this merger, while the composition of the image, Adams kind of struggled with the camera to keep the dry mist. But, he kind of had a perfectionism with this whole picture, capturing the rainbow. He even says, trying to keep the lens clear, and the sound of the furry waterfall, clean air, driving the mist were unforgettable for this image. This is a well-known picture that Ansel Adams took of the Yosemite National Park. I've seen a few names for this one, Clear Winter Storm and The Range of Light, just kind of depending on what site you go. But I think the real name is Clear Winter Storm. And there might be different variations of the same image in the same area that he took this. A lot of walking and traveling he had to do carrying this equipment to get it there. I heard it's like a few hours or so, him just trying to capture this one image and on timing of just sitting there and waiting just for the perfect moment. Here's another angle of a different one on Half Dome, capturing it in with the moon. Another one of his popular images of Yosemite National Park. Continue here. We have the negative, or the gelatin silver print of this negative, kind of this majestic Bridal Veil fall into the curling. You kind of see like the misting over here he's trying to capture. Just kind of different. You kind of see these trees as silhouetting the image. It's not like your everyday picture. It's a little bit different. Kind of makes you think about it for a little bit. The north face of this cliffside, just like another image on the Yosemite National Park. Kind of different again with the tree silhouetting the mountain. This one's a little bit more interesting because this was an image when he was 17 years old, experimenting with photography. So this is back when he was really young. He was most likely using the box Brownie camera that his father gave to him in Yosemite. So this is kind of an interesting one, more that pictorialist style. He liked to take pictures of a lot of trees. This one in particular, he took one in the past, and he took another one, which is the one we're showing here, of the El Capitan Meadow. This is one of his favorite subjects since he took photography of this tree. There was a fire that came through, and it kind of showed from his old picture that there's still like the same background, but this tree's kind of still there. It looks a little different, but same place, same location, just kind of different aesthetic with the tree. Here's a different one of a different tree, different location. Just kind of showing you, kind of setting the mood with like a silhouette tree with a backdrop. Not kind of like your everyday picture. It can't really make out what's of the tree or anything. It kind of keeps it in for your own sake. This one is the gravestone and church. This was right outside National Park. Was built in 1855, kind of kept these 5,000 Chinese immigrants that lived here. They were gold miners, railroad workers. Just kind of reflects the times of back then and everything. Kind of see this rustic old mirror, and it kind of shows you just like the definition of this kind of old style image. This one was rather interesting as well because this was taken with a Polaroid camera, and this actually made this location of the Davenport, the meeting house, a very popular location. It was built out of cement by the Santa Cruz Portland Cement Company, and it says from this definition that the church was famous when he took this photograph above with a Polaroid camera in the 1970s. Just kind of shows you that there's a difference between the contemplative process of using a camera and the instant result of using a Polaroid camera. This image in particular was a collaboration with Ansel Adams and a feminist writer, Mary Austin. This project was exceptional not just for the two careers of a photographer and a writer, but they both kind of came out with this American environment movement of white women to promote Pueblo arts. It's a firehouse back in the 1950s. It kind of got restored. It kind of shows a Gothic revival of spirit. This is a political poster. He kind of took this picture of a negative, famously advocated for lynching of senators, and the opposed public ownership of a local water supply for taking away billy clubs from police officers. Just like another kind of interesting image he has here. The black and white classic feature from Ansel Adams, and then, it's like a picture of a picture, which is kind of interesting. Kind of just like ironic. Here's a picture from a Studio City movie lots where Adams was working with in the University of California, also named UCLA. Just kind of like the backdrop, kind of something different too, a little abnormal, kind of like more of that pictorialist again, you can kind of see that in this image especially, just kind of random, kind of get you thinking a little bit. It's not your everyday picture. This was a picture of Pisani. He was best known for the murals and permanent exhibition in San Francisco's De Young Museum, and this picture was thought to influence and encourage Ansel to print larger images in more mural formats. For this picture, we have Alfred Stieglitz in a studio, and it was kind of more of a memory and a dedication in his honor and friendship and the association of from 1933 to Stieglitz's death in 46, and it was more of like his thoughts and his feelings. Even opened up a portfolio for him, a bunch of images kind of showing his respects to Alfred Stieglitz, his influence. Here we have like another image, famous depicting bighorn sheep of a monument in Arizona. It's about 700 years old. Just kind of something different here from Ansel Adams. Still probably traveling, hiking around. Here he was commissioned to do a winery. This is like a whole winery-based scene here, and just kind of photography, do a documentary, pictures of their winery. Here was like a pictorialist, Stieglitz, another one that he did to honor his friendship around 1933. He wanted to express his thoughts and his feelings towards Stieglitz and his remarkable body of work. Here you can kind of see that environment. Some interesting facts and significance of Ansel Adams was that he taught a lot of clubs, or a lot of techniques and workshops with a lot of different places, kind of showing his board of directors in Sierra Club for many years and used his work to promote environment causes. That kind of shows like his environmentalist was an American landscape photographer environmentalist known as the Black and White Images, American West. Adams was a lifelong advocate for environment conservation, and his photograph practices were deeply intertwined with that advocacy. And the Yosemite National Park, again, was to promote conservation of wilderness areas. His iconic black and white images helped establish his photography among his fine arts. And that is it for Ansel Adams on his portfolios and pictures and everything. Thank you.